I got back with my ex, co-signed for an app for her and her daughter and then cancelled it today. I 25M have been on and off with my first girlfriend 28F for the last 3 years. I've always ended the relationship, sometimes on good terms, sometimes just by stopping talking to her. I've always cared deeply for her and her kid, to the point where I'd take a bullet for them. Over the years I've spent over $20K on getting her an appointment, helping with bills, furniture and everything in between in the years. We have been talking for a few months once again recently, and I fall for her again every time. I just co-signed for another appointment for her to get out of her toxic family's house. She was set to move in on December 8th. However, yesterday I wasted 5 hours driving with my phone dead to pick up a bed and furniture for her kid, only to get there and not be able to get it because of the rain. I get home and finally charge me phone, only to see she's texted 3 times asking what time I'll pick up the furniture. Then a simple good night text from her and that's it. I felt used all over again, feeling like shit. I couldn't sleep. So I texted her asking where I stood on the relationship and if she actually cared about me. 2 hours later and she's only opened it and never responded. I called her out on it and she said she was busy at her girlfriend's house staying the night. So I told her I didn't feel appreciated or loved at all. With no response I didn't sleep much at all. Feeling like this is just going to be another left turn into the same stuff from the past, I canceled the lease and now she can't get an app on her own with her credit. I don't know what to feel because I feel like an asshole but I didn't want to feel used again. Like I was always going to be the last thing on her mind. My husband cheated on me and gave me herpes. I, 50F, found out my husband, 56M, of 31 years, cheated on me a year and a half ago with 2 internet hookups and one was younger than our 25-year-old son. He states he did it because he felt old, broke down, and unappreciated. This from a man who worked 2 hours a day and while I worked 12-hour shifts as a nurse in a COVID unit and on my days off would have the pleasure of cleaning the house, grocery shop, run his can you do me a favor errands. He says that his brother set up the accounts and started talking to these girls which began in November. He paid for a subscription to Sideline Secret second phone line and paid for a full year. Since he is an older gentleman, and I use that term loosely, he requires a little pill to assist in the bedroom. He picked those up behind my back on the day I tested positive for COVID. I was sick in bed with COVID for 3 weeks. I know exactly what days he met up with each girl because he gave each one a $4,000 check for what he says was so they wouldn't try to contact me because he showed up with clothes that displayed our business name. He has never spent that much money on me our entire marriage. I asked him if he got STD tested since my health was at risk. I heard 3 different responses. 1. There was no need. 2. No I didn't. And 3. I did but I deleted the results because I was afraid you would see them. Well guess what, it was door number 2. Because 2.5 weeks ago I had my first outbreak and found out it was herpes. I feel like he protected the whores because he must have thought after 30 years of faithful marriage on my part, I was infested with disease. But he failed to protect me. I feel like giving up on life. I was just starting to feel human again recovering from the affair and then got blindsided again except this time with an incurable STD. Even if I left him who would want to ever date me? So I feel stuck in an unhappy marriage. I gave up my son today and hate how relieved I feel. I, 20F, had a baby in September of last year. I went through with the pregnancy solely because his father, 36M, wanted a baby. I never wanted kids but I thought I was in love with my ex so I did what he wanted. From day one I regretted it. I loved that little boy but I hated raising him. I looked at him and all I saw was the man that ruined my life. And for the past year I hated myself for not wanting my baby. Last night I called his aunt on his dad's side and told her everything. Today his grandmother picked him up and I feel like a weight has lifted from my shoulders. I'll be proceeding with signing over temporary custody to the aunt and grandmother. I want what's best for him. He deserves to be raised by people who want to take care of him. I will be getting therapy to figure out if there's a way to move past this. I feel like making this confession is one of many steps in being able to want to be his mother. Edit. Prior to having my own place I was living with my ex's sister a few months before and after having my son. She has 4 kids and he will be most likely primarily with his grandmother. This is something I thought about for a long time and I know that these 2 have homes that are safe for him to grow up in. Edit 2. First of all I'd like to say I do want to be able to have my son again someday. I am mentally not in a well enough place to be the mother he deserves. Some of you pointed out that I made it seem like I'm just giving him up completely. Sorry for the confusion and thanks for pointing it out. I'll still be responding to comments. Thank you for your insights. Secondly, I know that what I'm doing now could negatively affect my son. I respect your judgment and I know he's completely innocent in all of this. I'm taking all comments into consideration. I came on here to get this off my chest. And I accept that you all will have harsh responses sometimes. But I also deeply appreciate the supportive comments as well. This is a hard decision for me to make. I can't offer him the best he deserves right now but I hope to someday. Edit 3, so I feel I need to clarify that I was 18 when I met my ex. He was 33 almost 34 at the time. I smell like poop all the time and it won't go away. Please don't say something like just take a shower because trust me, if it were that easy this wouldn't be an issue. I don't know what it is but even after a nice long shower or bath I still stink and it won't go away. It's definitely not a hygiene thing and I just don't know what to do anymore. Every day is a nightmare and I have no one supporting me at all, so every day I have to go to work smelling like sewage because if I don't, how the F am I gonna pay my rent and bills? I can't even begin to explain how awful that is. I feel like I'm losing my mind and I just don't know what to do anymore. I genuinely think about suicide on a daily basis and I don't know how much longer I can continue like this. Does anyone know what might be causing this? I'm otherwise quite healthy, I eat well and exercise often, maybe a bit too skinny if anything. I'm a male 28. My wife served me divorce after we returned from a family vacation. We went on a family vacation with my wife of 15 years and our kids, 10M, 7M, 5F. We were having fun and laughing. We went on rides and had some lavish food. Everything was great. I was able to relax after a very long time. My kids and my wife were also very happy with it. It all started when our final day at Disneyland my kids were having a fight about something. I was grabbing some ice cream for them and then I heard my wife screamed at them, "Why can't you just shut up?" I immediately went there. My kids were shocked. I broke the fight between them and they were fine. I pulled my wife on the side and asked why was she yelling? She just looked dead straight into my eyes and said I am done. I didn't know what that was. But for the rest of the evening she was quiet. Even in the hotel she only talked to the kids and said sorry for yelling. She completely avoided me. I thought things will be fine when we return home. But after 24 hours we returned home, she served me with divorce papers. She said she cannot do this anymore. She is moving to the guest room and will slowly move out of the house. She has been trapped here now, just wants to breath. I begged her to listen. How can she leave us like that? What have I done? I never cheated on her, never abused her, never belittled her. I supported her in every way. Then why? I asked if there was another man. She said no. She is just done with me because she is done waiting for me. She said she doesn't want to talk about it now. I am hurt and sad. What happened all of a sudden that she wants out?